Fashion Dolls. It is finally Friday, December 29th, the last Friday in the year of 2023. And we are closing out 2023 with our final show for season 17 and headed into the new season of season 18, which premieres January 2nd, 2024. Today's special guest needs no introduction. He is a multi platinum award winner, singer, and songwriter. And I've had him on the show. This is his sixth appearance on the show, and we are both closing out 2023 together. And I hope you guys had an amazing, awesome Christmas holiday as I did. Heading into the new year of 2024, you guys. I'm so excited. So, joining me today as we close out and look back in the year of reflection of 2023, we have multi award winner Stephen Voice, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully, there we
Hello
are. Hi.
again. Hello. I can't believe it's number six. We're number six. Number six.
Yeah.
Wow.
The year went by
It
so
did.
fast, so
It
fast.
did. It flew. It flew. I'm really grateful, honestly, that I get to be closing out the year with you. This is your last show of the year. And I'm super honored that you have me be the guest to close it out on. So thank you so much. Honestly, thank you for everything you've done for me this year. It's been a blessing. Every time we get to speak, you've just been such a blessing. So I'm really grateful to you.
And I'm glad to
Thank
have
you.
you back. What have you been up to before we catch up and do a year recap or review? Because we did 5 interviews, and this is our sixth interview
Yeah.
together, and we're closing out
Yeah.
2023. So, how was the Christmas holidays for you, and how did you spend it?
It was fun. It was pretty quiet, which I'm kind of happy for. I spent it with my partner and her family. We spent Christmas. I think it was Christmas Eve together, and beyond that, it was just that's about it. It was a pretty quiet Christmas. Although we do have more Christmas celebrations that got pushed off until into January because of people got sick and COVID and things like that. So it's an ongoing thing. But it was
Yeah.
essentially pretty quiet, and I feel really blessed. And my goal is next year, next Christmas. I want to spend time with my family because we all live in different parts of the world, and it would be great to have us all together. So that's the goal for next year. But this year, it was fun spending with family. How was yours?
It was amazing. My brother and his girlfriend went to
Nice.
Florida, and we babysit my little niece. She's a Yorkie Poo, Coco, and I've had her here on the show with me. We did a couple episodes together. So she's still here. She's going to be here until the 6th, and then they're going to come back and get her.
Awesome.
And I get to see my nephew. So they took my nephew for the first time to Florida to go see my brother's girlfriend's family up there in Florida. And they had him all decked out. He had on denim.
Nice.
So I'm just like, they put him in denim and everything. I said, okay, y'all are starting to turn this baby into a little version of me. He's starting to get like his aunt. Because I love fashion. He's starting to get fashion forward. So I'll probably see him when he comes back down when they pick up Coco.
Awesome.
So I'm excited for that. But we cooked. Everybody got their gifts. It didn't even feel like Christmas, but we still celebrated. It was a rainy
Yeah.
Christmas, but everybody was scattered out doing their own thing, and they came by, and me and my mom had to deliver food to my grandmother and my aunt. They were sick, so it was just like, oh my God, what's going on here?
Yeah.
But overall, it was a fabulous
That's
Christmas.
awesome. I'm happy to hear that. It's funny you say that because in Montreal, we're so used to Christmas having snow, having a white snow Christmas, and this year there's just none of that so far. It's so warm. Like there are people outside jogging in shorts, so it's a little scary to be honest. It says a lot about the environment we live in right now. Hopefully, we'll be able to make a change, but that's where it is right now. But like you said, all in all, fun holiday season.
Yes, and not only that, but the last time we spoke, you released the second part of
Yeah,
your album, The Emancipation of
yeah.
Izzy, which is out right now on all platforms. What else can we expect for you musically in the year of
Yes,
2024?
before we even get into that, after that, there were two more projects that came out, little smaller projects. One was called Clash of Gaia, and it was a two-track EP with myself and my best friend Jess Abram. We put out it was more of a cinematic collaboration. Our collabs are pretty interesting because we have very distinct styles. But we love working together because whenever we bring our styles together, something brand new is born that is completely different from what we both do. So Clash of Guy came out, I forget which, I think it was, I want to say in November. Oh no, it was Halloween, came out on Halloween. So,
My birthday.
hey, there you
Yeah.
go. So it came out and you know, and I love the way people received it. It was great to put that out after the album. And it also kind of serves as a precursor to her own project. She's going to be releasing an album next, I think January actually. So it was a cool like a little in between. And then in December, I decided to drop a secret last little song called "Where Did the Good Times Go," featuring a very talented artist going by the name of Alicia Gray. It's a more of a naughty song, a naughty song. I just felt like, you know what, I want to release one more thing before the end of the year, just to say thank you to everyone for all the support. So that song was more, it was more of a thank you to everyone that has been so supportive and been there for me and allowed me to create the way I create. So it was a little final little something before we head into 2024. As for what's happening next year, honestly, I decided to take a break. I decided to take a break in December and not think about what I'm going to release in 2024 so that when January hits, whatever I create will be a whole new, like it's a new beginning. So until then, we'll see. I know something is coming because something is always coming, but I guess January Steven will know.
And shout outs to everyone. Nubian Treasure Handcrafted says happy holidays to you too. And I see you all are coming in.
Yeah,
Amer Deuce says Stephen
he's
is the
awesome.
truth.
You should, people go check him out. Amazing soul, a very inspiring being, amazing dancer, really cool person. I'm very glad that our paths have crossed. That's the beauty of social media. You just meet really awesome people. Like I got to meet you. So like, shout out to all the people you meet that enrich your journey.
And Chef CSEE says, how
Oh,
are you, Steve?
I'm good. Thank you for asking. I'm really good. I'm wearing this actually is a shirt that one of my friends got me. Her name is Claudia Lenti, amazing artist. She got me this shirt for Christmas. I'm wearing it. I'm feeling good. It's the first time I've worn it since she got it for me, so it felt like a special moment. So I pulled it out, and here we are.
And I see you all are coming in. We are wrapping up year-end recap. This is my last episode for this season, wrapping up the year 2023, and we're heading into my 18th season, which will be January 2nd, 2024. So the reminder's already up. Make sure you guys go and set your reminders. It's going to be a whole new look. I have a lot in store. That's why I've been dropping hints here and there. So you guys just have to stay tuned. I'm super excited for that. Now, let's recap some of our interviews
Yes.
because this is
Yeah.
six, lucky number six. And you said it, you manifested it that we were going to keep doing it
Yeah.
again and again and
Hmm.
again. And now we're wrapping up 2023 with our final interview, which is six. So, out of all of the interviews, when we first met, we talked about your
So,
single Summer
yeah.
Lust. And then the second interview, the
Yeah.
album came along. And then it just progressed on and progressed on. You gave us one
Yeah.
Scream and all the other singers, Time and all the other singers came along, and then you gave us the Emancipation of Essay. And in interview number 5, I want to say that was the last time we
Yeah.
spoke,
Yeah.
and the album is just being released. So out of all the conversations that we've had on this platform, which one holds a special
Well,
place in your heart?
I think first of all, the answer is every single one holds a special place in my heart. But always, I think it's always the first interview where you meet someone for the first time and you realize that this person is going to be integral for the rest of your journey. I think that moment when we first had our interview, I was just like, yes, I can't wait to speak to you again. That was the pivotal interview. I'm not saying not saying that it hasn't gotten better since. Our interviews just keep getting better and better because we get more and more comfortable with each other. I just feel like I feel like our interviews they're essentially a phone call between two friends and then just people listening in. That's what it feels like at this point, which is an amazing feeling. So definitely the first interview that just brought you into in our worlds together. So yeah, that's it. And like I said, ever since then, anytime I have a new project that comes out, you're the first person I want to know, so that you know we can talk about it, or just for you to know, just because you're just like I said, you're such an important part of this journey, and I'm very grateful to you.
And yes, I see the progression throughout your journey. You've given us highs, you've given us lows. On this project, the Emancipation of Eze, we talked about this the last time you were here. I said that we see a change, we see a transition from Summer
Yeah,
Lust and all the other things that you've done, up from Scream to Time to the last one.
yeah,
But that's me. I mean, it all goes up. So, do you see the transition throughout your career and the change?
absolutely. Actually, speaking of transitions, actually, it was a few, I want to say a few months ago after the release of the album, I was walking, listening to the songs because, you know, I listen to my own music because why not? I was listening to the songs, and then some of my older songs, like from, you know, when I was just going by the artist name of Voice, came in my on my Spotify, and I was listening, and I was just like, oh, and I felt sad because those songs were on a different name than Stephen Voice because I had made a decision to change from Voice to Stephen Voice and start a whole new journey. But when I listened to those songs, it made me sad that some people don't know where my journey truly began. Like at the beginning, when I was truly lost, and I used music as a way to, you know, find myself. So for some people, the first album that they've heard from me is The Emancipation of Izzy. But the first album is actually Alone in a Crowd. The second is Hidden in Plain Sight, then Lord of Gemini, and then Prelude in Major Minor. I love having weird names for albums. And then the fifth one is actually The Emancipation of Eze. And I was just listening, and I just felt like, man, it's why did I dislodge myself like that? Because I've been someone I've always been about unifying all sides of who you are. But at that point in
Yeah.
my career, I was guided by people that told me to let go of that version of me and, you know, embrace this new version. And Summer Lost was the first song that came out of Stephen Voice. But it always kind of felt odd to me to let go of the past when for me the past makes you who you are. So I took to Instagram and TikTok and I asked people, I said, would you want to hear those old songs of mine and would you like me to consolidate? And people said yes. It was really great to see that people resonated with the idea of wanting to see where my journey truly began. So I reached out to my distribution company and I said, hey guys, I want to bring all the Voice songs into Stephen Voice. And for the last, you know, I think it took about a month, and now everything is under Stephen Voice. So you can discover my entire catalog dating all the way back to 2015 until now so far on Spotify. So if you want to discover everything that I am and see how the journey truly progressed, now you can.
Now, looking back in 2015, again, this is a year retrospective. We are closing out
Mm-hmm.
2022. In 2015, when you first came out, what would you go back in time and tell your younger self? Because I see the transition from your career
Yeah,
musically.
thank
It's
you.
beautiful.
Um, I think in 2015 I was in such a lost place because it was, you know, prior to that my mom had passed away and I had turned to music to really, you know, heal myself because I was lost. It wasn't even to heal myself. I just needed to just let go of what I was feeling, which was just loss and trauma. And I just needed to verbalize it and let it out. And that's what, and then so all these songs came out during that. It was almost like I want to say, you know, 5 year span where a lot of these songs came out. And 2015 came, and honestly, at that point, I was ready to quit music because I had been signed to a label, and the label did nothing for me. And they had essentially just kind of like they essentially just kind of played with me. They didn't really know. I'm not gonna name names, but they didn't know what they were doing. And rather than them just being honest about it, they just kind of kept me on the sidelines. And because of that, I felt like maybe I'm just not good enough for this industry. So I was about to quit, and I met a good friend of mine now. His name is Sooks. He's another producer, and he had some songs. And he said, "Hey, would you like to try singing on these songs?" And I did, and he reignited a fire inside me. And then he just showed me the ropes. He said, like, all these songs you recorded in this time frame, you should put them together and release them as a project. And he showed me how to do it. And that was the first time I released an album on cross platforms, and that album was called Alone in a Crowd. And it's a 45 song album for 45 songs. Because it could have been a lot longer. I trimmed it down, but there were so many songs that came out in that 5 year span, and I really wanted people to hear that struggle. So it was important for me. I knew, like, from a marketing perspective, it made no sense. Like 45 songs, what are you doing, Stephen? But like, I just knew, like, I needed to do it. So I did, and that's where people started to resonate with my sound, and that's where the journey truly began. But from that place where I was lost and in this really dark place, music really helped me find myself. And album after album, every single album showed a person becoming more and more confident into who they are, going through the different phases and cycles of his life. And so now when I look back on that person, I can see the growth. And if I was ever to go back in time, I would say, I know it's hard right now. I know that things seem impossible. This mountain you're trying to climb seems an impossible climb, but just start walking, because you right now are already on the right path, and you will see that one day. And I can confidently say today that I've put myself on the right path, and I'm grateful for my beginnings, and I'm grateful to where I am right now.
Now, what advice would you give to up and coming artists who've experienced the same thing that you've endured, where it's just like, and I went back and
Yeah,
I watched one of your past interviews when you first started, and you said that a lot of record companies
yeah,
didn't know what to do with me because my sound is
yeah,
different. And when you said that, that stood out to me because a lot of people, I'm comparing you to one of my favorite rap artists. If you know Missy Elliott.
yes,
Missy Elliott, she had her own
yeah,
sound. And a lot of people were just like, okay, is she pop? Is she hip hop? What is she? I mean, and then when they see the music videos, it's just out of this
yeah,
world. So it's hard to put artistry in a
yeah,
category where it's like everybody is in their own lane doing their own thing. And another artist, of course, Janet. Each
yeah,
album, Janet Jackson is giving us a different layer of
yeah,
her into each album, into each project. Michael, the same thing. And I know your
yeah,
mom is a big Michael
yeah,
Jackson fan as well. We talk a lot about Michael. But when you said that, that made me think about those artists because they cannot be put into a
yeah.
box. They cannot be put into a category. What advice would you give to the next generation of artists that are coming up about categories and being categorized?
I would say that it's okay to not fit in. That I think a lot of people will make you feel like that's a problem. They'll make you feel like, well, I don't know how to position you. And like, maybe they just don't know how to position you, and that's okay for them, but it's not, you don't need those people. You can build yourself the way you want to build yourself. And it took me trying and just trial and error and just putting myself out there to realize that everything I needed to be, I already had. I didn't need to sound like another person. I didn't need to be this other being. I didn't need to put myself in a box, which is why today I can put out an album one second that is a fusion of pop and R&B, and then the next second do a collaboration that's all cinematic music. And I can do that because I've allowed myself to be that person that doesn't want to fit in the box. And if some people don't understand, that's fine. You don't have to appeal to everyone, but as long as you appeal to yourself, there will always be people that resonate with you. So just be the truest version of yourself, because all these people that you look up to, all these people that you want to sound, you want to be like, those are the people that defined themselves. It's okay to be inspired, but eventually you need to define who you are for yourself. And you can only do that by just being the truest version of you.
And that's what I admire about you the most is that you didn't let people say, okay, he does this genre of music. You just went and you carved your own path and your own trail, and you did it so
Thank
unapologetic.
you.
Like when you first started, everybody was like, okay, is he giving us pop? And that's what happens to a lot of
Yeah.
artists. Even with the late Whitney Houston, it happened to her because people will just, it was in the tabloids, it was everywhere. Like people were trying to be like, okay, is she trying to cross over to pop? Is she trying to do R&B?
Yeah.
Which one is it? It's just like let artists breathe in their artistry and be amazing and give us stuff that we love, which is the music.
Yeah.
Listen to the music and listen to the message more importantly than trying to categorize the artist. And I just had this conversation with someone earlier. He just came in here. Um, Let me scroll back up. Let me make sure. I just had this conversation with Billy Ray Valentine. Yes, and he's coming on the show sometime next
Awesome.
year. We talked about the state of hip hop. He sent me a clip, and I said, "I'm not a rapper. I'm a talk show host."
Yeah.
So it threw me off, but he was just like, "No, no, no. Listen to it." I said, "Yes, I see the way that music has definitely changed throughout
Yeah.
the years. It's not the way it was back
Yeah.
then. Whereas back then, lyrically, you could say what you and the message would go right over
Yeah.
people's head. It'd be like tongue in cheek sort of thing. But now it's just blatant. It's out there. It's in your face. It has meaning in regards to hip hop music. R&B is the same thing. But I definitely see that shift. Do you see the shift that is happening, and what can you predict in the current state
Yeah.
for music, whether it's pop R&B for
I
2024?
think as time goes on, we're gonna start to see the genres start to just blend into each other because you see it more and more and more and more artists are just kind of being themselves, and you can't. It's hard to even put them in a box, and why should you? Why should you? Why we don't need to put them into boxes. People are just saying like, "Hey, I like pop, I like R&B, I like alternative, I like rap, I also like rock," and then they fuse all that stuff because they get to. And I think isn't that what the whole point is? Isn't that the whole point of life is to see what everyone did before you, get inspired by those things, find a way to put it together into your own mind and see what you regurgitate and then add yourself on top of it. Like as a species, that's what we do. We evolve by looking at the past and adding to it and also evolving it. So my prediction for the future is we're going to see more and more music that's going to be harder and harder to like put into genres. And the people that are afraid of that change are going to slowly start to just understand that listen, music is music. And who knows? Maybe one day we won't need to use words like pop, R&B, and we'll just be able, we'll just say like this artist released music. What kind of music is it? It's music. Enjoy.
Right. Absolutely. And I see my brother K Tukes. Hey K Tukes. Shout outs to K Tukes, the K Tukes spot. And I see Island Yankee. Hey Fraternal. He says, look who's back for the third time. This is his sixth interview. We are closing
Six.
out 2023 together. And we're just talking about what can we expect in the future of 2024 for music artists. Now, AI, because this
Yeah.
is scary.
Yeah.
I think we touched briefly on it the last
Yeah.
time. I you guys know that I'm a big Aaliyah fan. I love Aaliyah. I love Selena. I went and I listened to a cover for SWV that, and they put Aaliyah's
Mm.
voice on it. This is
Yeah.
scary. This AI technology, how we're talking right now, it is very, very scary. So, how do you feel about artificial intelligence?
I think there's a place for artificial intelligence. Unfortunately, we live in a world where people, for me, tools and technology is never inherently evil. It's just technology and it can be used for such great things. Unfortunately, a lot of corporations, a lot of businesses want to abuse that and they'll find ways to get things for free or put less money into the people that deserve it, just so that they can get whatever they're looking for at a much cheaper price. And unfortunately, we're seeing that with AI, where people are trying to replace artists and replace certain kind of work streams, and that's because I feel that we haven't put enough rules and legislations behind how AI is used. So it's kind of the Wild West. And I feel like it's the same thing with social media back in the day. It was the Wild West. It was kind of like people could do whatever the hell they wanted to until rules were put in place that said like, hey, listen, you can't just put an artist song on your video. The artist has to get paid in some way. So now there are tools in place, there are platforms in place. Instagram has platforms that let you put music on top of your videos, but artists still get paid some way, shape, or form. I just think when it comes to AI, it's still kind of the Wild West where no one quite knows how to place it. So unfortunately, until then, we're going to see people using and abusing. But I think it's going to, as all things, the pendulum always finds a way to balance out. I think we'll eventually get to a place where things we set in place so artists, creators, workers are protected because I believe that AI, like I said, there is for all things, for all businesses, for all industries, there's a place for it. It shouldn't be at the detriment of people. It should be there to enhance people. It's unfortunate we live in a world where greed is so prevalent. If we lived in a world where people weren't greedy, we wouldn't have these problems. We'd have AI and we'd be using them for the growth of humanity, not to try and squash people from growing. So I believe AI is important for our future. I just think the way we're using it right now is abusive. Yeah.
Absolutely. Let me see what Alan Yankee says. We have artificial intelligence, but still have slow people with smartphones. Jesus, well, listen, technology is shifting. So I've heard, was it Swiss Beats? Swiss Beats talked about Pro Tools. What else can you predict for the future musically as a singer, as a songwriter? Because you produce your music, you write your music. What are you predicting technology is going to look like for
Oh man,
2024?
and I do think it goes back to AI. I think AI is going to play an integral part in how music is made. The same way how once upon a time every single song required you to have a drummer, like a live drummer. Now you can program those things. That
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean that there's no more room for real drummers because there still is. That's the thing. Like it's a we need to find a way to create a symbiosis or a mutual a world where they can exist mutually together, as opposed to one squashing the other. So I think for 2024, we might still be in that experimental phase where unfortunately a lot of people are using and abusing. It might persist for a little bit longer, but I think eventually, whether it's 2025, 2026, or if we're hopeful 2024, we'll get to a place where these tools will be more additive to the creative process and not destructive to people. Because for me, it's always about don't kill people just so you can save a dime, and that's and don't devalue people's work ethic and their work just so you can save a dime. Because when people say like, oh, why should I hire a graphic designer? I could just use AI to do what they do. But unfortunately, right now, those AIs, where are they pulling that data from? They're pulling that data from art that has already been created because we don't have legislations or rules in place that say like, hey, listen, if you're going to be pulling using data points from arts that other people have recreated, then those people that you're taking that art from, they should be compensated in some way. It shouldn't be just like, oh, I just took the idea, but like, well, you're essentially plagiarizing someone else's work to create something new. So we need to find ways to fix that, because I think that's the major problem right now, is that artists are not being compensated. And that's why I'm happy we saw things like the actors strike in Hollywood, where artists said like, no, enough is enough. We deserve to get paid for what we do. Because I just feel like as technology evolves, unfortunately, greedy people find loopholes that that kick people that deserve to be paid or be compensated to the side while they get their profits. Well, we need to stop. We need to stop that practice. And unfortunately, we live in a world where you have to put rules in place and laws in place, because if not, people will do what they do, and which is unfortunately abuse so that they can gain profits while other people fall apart.
Absolutely. And there is a artist, she's a reggae artist. You guys know Patra, you know Lady Saul,
Mm.
Sister Nancy. And you've heard her
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, Sister Nancy. She spoke about how they wouldn't give her residuals for her single. And they wanted to place her music in commercials and things, and how she
Yeah,
had to fight to get the right that for that song. So this happens to a lot of artists in the industry. How important is owning your masters and owning your rights to your
I
music?
think now more than ever, like, because as technology progresses and as platforms allow for more availability and use of music, the more there are ways to monetize that music that didn't exist before. So
Yeah,
before, when people signed their 360 deals that essentially said like artists, the radio label essentially can do whatever they want with your music, and you might get compensated or not depending on your deal. There was a limited number of things they could do. It was like, oh, they could put it in TV show, they could, let another artist sing your song, whatever. Now there's so many things that they can do with it. So there's many monetizing points that they can make off of your music. And if you're the artist that created that sound and people are making money off of you and you're getting nothing from it, that is probably one of the most frustrating things to experience, is to see your work being used and you getting nothing out of it. And unfortunately, that's the reality we exist in. And a lot of artists that signed deals in the past that are still with their labels are in that position where they're trying to figure out how they can get their rights back, because they're now seeing their art being used for things that they're not seeing a dime for. So for all the newer artists that are thinking about their journeys, just make sure that you empower yourself. If you decide to go to a label, make sure you protect yourself, because at the end of the day, businesses are businesses and their goal is to make money. And as much as they can say they care about you, unfortunately, businesses will always try to put themselves first. So protect yourself. I think it's important to own your masters at least, or at least own a majority of your masters. Me personally, I'm at the point in my career where I don't want to sign a deal, at least as an artist. And if I was to sign a deal, because I have, it would be probably for just a single or two, and I would still make sure I own a majority of that song because I will not give away my mastering or my publishing because I just don't need to.
Let me read some of you guys' comments. Island Yankee says, greed will cause you to indulge and become sluggish and end up ODing. Now you are damaged goods. And that's happened to a lot of people in this
Yeah,
industry and in
yeah,
this business where they have signed contracts, signed deals, and their music are being played. And it's just like, wait, why is my music being paid? I'm not getting paid, played in this commercial, and I'm not
hmm
getting residual
yeah,
for it. So that's important in this business. And that's the tip of the iceberg because I've seen it happen to so many artists where they had to literally go back in the
yeah.
studio. It was
Taylor
Taylor
Swift.
Swift and
Yeah,
Ashanti, and they had to go back in the studios and re-record their albums and fight for the
yeah,
rights of their music. They had to go back and
yeah.
re-record the whole thing.
And then even after that, what they will own is that version of the song. The masters that still existed before, they still don't have the rights to. So if you're a Taylor Swift and you have the momentous fandom that you have, if you tell your fans, hey, I'm gonna go and re-record my songs, guys, go start buying these versions and stop listening to those old ones, your fans will do that. But if you're an artist that is not quite as known anymore, doing that still won't necessarily mean that you're going to see a dime for certain things because a lot of the fans will still recognize the older songs and not the newer version. So as much as that's a band-aid, it's still not a way to fix it all. So it starts at the beginning. So for those of us, or those of you that are at the beginning, you have the insight into the industry that a lot of us didn't have because a lot of these things were in place back then. So I know a lot of people like to say like, "Oh, I don't listen to the old heads. What do they know?" No, listen to the people who came before because they're the ones that paved the way, and they're the ones who had to make the mistakes so that you don't have to. The reason why we don't have to sign a deal with a record label today is because artists in the past had to sign those deals, and the we saw what happened to them. So they served as a cautionary tale, unfortunately, for the rest of us, and now we know better. So look at history is always important to look into. Look into the history of the things that you're part of, so that you don't repeat the mistakes of the past.
Absolutely. And let me see. Amy loves you 136. She wants to know what does it mean when you say masters?
Masters is the recording. It's the recording of the song. So when you go into the studio and you record that song, that version of the song that you can listen to is the master. It's like back in the day, I guess it was like it was easier to visualize because there were like physical copies of the song, but like now it's the digital. But that recording, the way it sounds, the way it's created, all of that's the master. And if someone else owns the master of your song, they can go out and put that into commercials. They can put it into other things, and they don't have to pay you. That's why it's important that you either own the majority of the stake or you own it all. If you can, own it all. Now, if you're independent, you can own it all. There's always going, like I said, there's always going to be people in business that are going to try to take away like part of your power. Don't let them. I'm very careful now with the people even when I'm creating music, who I allow into the studio when I'm recording, because some people they'll come into the studio and you as you're recording a song and you'll be thinking like, oh, I should replace this one word with something, and they'll be like, oh, try this word, and you're like, oh, cool, thank you, and then they'll start saying like, oh, but I own a portion of the song now, like be careful of those people because they exist. So if you're keep your circle tight, you don't need. I know like we see a lot of the times we see it in like on TV or in, with like a lot of artists like to surround themselves with like a bunch of people in the studio. I can't do that. I cannot do that. That's the quickest way to owe a lot of people a lot of money for things they don't quite deserve.
And you know what? Again, I keep comparing you to so many other artists because they're kind of the same way. Janet Jackson was the same way. And I think Busta Rhymes, when they did the song together, she did not want a whole lot of
Yeah,
people in the studio
yeah,
with her. He said, I'm going to give you your time. This is your time in this session. and when she recorded her verse for the single that they did together. So it going into 2024 for a lot of new artists out here that are coming up that are independent, creating their own content. It takes a lot, but it's so worth it because you have full range, you have full creative
Yeah.
control of your direction and vision of what you want to create musically, how you want your cover to look, your artwork, how you want your sound. All of these things go back into that. So, what advice would you give to independent artists? Because I know it's costly having to
Yeah.
record and put music out there.
Yeah, as an independent artist, I think it's very important to learn all aspects of the industry, all the processes. Like I'm a big advocate of learning it all. Like I've learned how to record, how to produce, how to mix, how to film my music videos, how to edit my music videos, how to edit my photos if I needed to. I know how to release the songs on platforms. I know all of the things because that way I know the value of each step so that when I delegate to other people, I know that I won't get screwed because the easiest way to get screwed is to not know. Because someone can tell you like, oh yeah, I put the song on a different platform. That's going to cost you $10,000, and you're like, oh, I guess I have to pay $10,000. But then you do it yourself, and you realize this took me all of 30 minutes of my day. Like so. There's certain things you need to like learn. So get especially at the beginning, allow yourself to get dirty in the weeds of things. Like get your hands dirty, play around, learn because you don't know the value of what you're giving away as delegation until you've kind of done it yourself. So that's just for me as an independent artist, especially in the world that we live in, where you have more control. Take the time to get used to everything. Because now, when I decide to delegate some things, because I genuinely don't like to do that aspect of the thing, but I also know the worth. For example, I don't like sending emails to press and things like that. I just don't like it. I don't. It's just like no, I don't want to. So I have a publicist, and we work together. Her name's Kalika Hastings. She's amazing. But I know what she does, and when she does things that even go well and beyond of my expectations, I'm able to be like, oh my gosh, thank you, that is amazing. But like, if you don't know, then you don't know. So take the time to learn all aspects of it, and like I said at the beginning, know yourself as an artist, so that you'll know what you are willing to give away if you want to, like because I think for a long time the dream for every single artist was, oh, I need to get signed, I need to get signed, I need to get signed, I need to get signed. But is it really, do you really need to get signed? Not necessarily. You don't, right? You could if you wanted to, or you don't have to. So understand all aspects so you can weigh the pros and cons of certain things and decide your path, but you decide your path. Don't let anyone decide your path for you.
And I just pinned one of your comments. Mazi UK Uno says the easiest way to get screwed is not having the
I like that.
knowledge.
Yes. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Is you good? Hey,
And
hey.
shout out to Anthony Knight. Hey, Anthony. Anthony says, Happy New Year's, my good friends. Happy New
Happy
Year.
New
We are
Year.
going into 2024 strong, closing out 2023. This has been an amazing, wild ride and journey in 2023. We are now going into 2024 even more stronger. Let me see. We got a question. Let me see if I can get to the question box. Some people secretly try to sabotage you, but dress it as support. So be careful who you allow around you.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. I've said that so many times in different words that some people will mask them trying to take from you as a gift. Like they will present it to you like they're doing you a solid when really they're taking from you. So be careful of the people who have one hand out acting as though they're trying to help you while the other hand is in your pocket. Be very careful because those people unfortunately do exist.
Absolutely. And it goes back to what Stephen just said, which is making sure that your circle is well
Yeah.
rounded. It's very, very small. And I'm the same way. I've said that several times on this platform is that I keep the people who are
Yeah.
close to me, and near to me, and dear to me, and that circle. And I'm thankful. And that's why I'm at where I'm at because they keep me grounded and uplifted. And that is so important. Now, year in retrospect, how would you say that 2023 has been for you so far? Because I said over and over. It's been like an emotional
Yeah.
roller coaster for all of us.
Yeah.
The writer strike, we've had so many things hitting us left and right. It's like,
Yeah.
Lord, what next? So how would you say 2023 has been for you so far?
I think for me, from an artistic perspective, it's been a year of a lot of realization and growth. And honestly, like I've been saying many times, it's being able to speak with people like you and on platforms like this that have really allowed me to kind of put things into perspective that I didn't like. Honestly, at the beginning of this year, when I released Scream and then Time, at that point in time, no pun intended. At that point in time, I had no clue that I was going to release an album. I had no clue. I just figured I'm gonna do Time, and then I'm gonna release another single. And I was gonna. My mind was like, I'm gonna do exactly what I did, in 2020 and 2021 and 2022, which is just release singles. I had no clue that I was gonna release an album, but it's the way those songs were received and the way people held on to them that made me realize that I had began something bigger than just singles, and that I had began the beginning and end of a project, and I needed to fill out the middle. And it's funny when I realized that, my first thought was I've put out all these songs during the pandemic as singles, and unfortunately they didn't get to be released as an album. So I thought, oh, maybe I'm going to put together a compilation of those songs, record maybe two new songs, and put that together as a package. Then I started recording those two new songs, and the first one I think recorded was "Stand by You," and then I recorded the second one, and then I had this urge to record the next one, and an urge to record the next one, and before you knew it, I had recorded enough material for a project, and I just said, this idea of putting together a compilation, I'm gonna throw that away because it looks like the universe has guided me somewhere else. So I think this year really showed me the importance of listening to yourself and listening to the guidance of the universe, because sometimes what you think you need to do is not necessarily what you need to do, but you need to have that initial like catalyst of a thought that will lead you down an even better path. So in that regard, 2023 has been one that I'm very grateful for. It allowed me to explore different sides of myself as an artist, diving into some of the more emotional, darker themes in the project, while still also tackling the more upbeat themes. But also with all the chaos of this year, it's been a reminder to hold on to the things that you love and to fight for what you know is right and to retain our humanity. Because in a world that can get really dark, it's easy to say, ah, I'm not going to care about anyone else but myself. But I think it's important for us to remember that we're not the only people on this planet, and we need to remind ourselves to love one another. If hurt and pain is happening not in your backyard, it doesn't mean you shouldn't care. We should still care, because I think what's going to heal this world is when we start loving one another and not just ourselves.
Absolutely. And Mati UK says, this is from your Nigerian relative. We keep rooting for you, bro, all the way from
Oh man,
Nigeria.
that that it's I've lived in Canada for such a long time now, and for the longest time, Canada was where my main fan base was, and now I'm seeing it go back to like my mother home, like Nigeria, which is where I'm from, and just getting that love has meant so much. So, anyways, I just want to say that I'm saying how grateful it's for me as person of these two heritages, and seeing them come together and embrace me for who I am is such a feeling. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
If you guys have watched some of our previous interviews, what was your favorite moment from my interviews that I've done with Stephen? Because this is
Six.
six. This is six. We manifested it that we were going to do two more and two more, and now we are at six interviews, closing out the year of 2023. So if you guys can go back in time, what was your favorite moment or highlight from our interviews that we've done? Um, my favorite one was the when we first met,
Yeah.
because first impressions last a lifetime, and I say that all the time because when you first meet someone, you get a vibe for their energy, and I said, "Oh my God, he's so cool," and we are going to continue to keep doing
Mhm.
interviews and interviews. And then when we did the second one, you said, "Okay, I'm coming back again, two for two," and five. And now we're at
Yeah, and there will be
six.
seven. Just saying.
So yes, more and more to come. So if you guys can remember, what is your favorite highlight or memory from this year's season? I've had so many amazing guests this season for season 17. And kicking it off back in January of 2023 was my main memory. And it was with Sean. So that Sean the Maestro, that was a great interview. But these interviews that I've done with Stephen will always hold a very special place to my heart because to see his artistry and to see the growth from every artist that I've interviewed on this platform, whether it's Cherokee or oh my God, it's so many. I can't name them out of my head. It's so many that I've had on my platform here. Um, Maurice Lochner, to name a few. Who else? Of course, Vanessa Williams. All of these interviews that I've done throughout the past few years will always hold a very special place to my heart. But the ones with Steven always click out because his sound is
Ah,
so unique. You can't put a label on it. Almost every artist that I've sat with, you can put them in a category. Vanessa R&B, Cherokee R&B, neo soul. Like, but with him, you just can't put someone like his artistry in a genre of music. And it's a lot of artists that are that same way. So those will hold a very special place to my heart. All of them.
that means everything. I think it's funny to and I always say this like the when at the beginning of our realizations, or so to speak, the things about us that make us different are the things that people treat us as though they're what make us like these outsiders. And then eventually people start to like embrace you. And then but it takes the right people like you that recognize that there's beauty in that difference. And then because of people like you, everyone else goes like, ah, you're right, and so it's wonderful to see how the things that you as a person were worried made you an outsider are the very things that now make you seen. And so I just want to say how grateful I am for that. So thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Anthony. And Anthony sent me a beautiful message during the Christmas holidays too about all of you guys. Y'all were just making me tear up. I did not do a show or any interviews during the Christmas holidays after we did that last show with Brenda and DC. That was it. And we wrapped up that week. And then we went into Christmas break and then we came back wrapping up the year 2023, which is today, our last episode
Yeah.
for season 17, heading into the new year for 2024. But putting that into perspective, that made me think about some things as well too. Like you have a purpose, you have a gift. There have been times when I've
Yeah.
wanted to give up doing this platform. I'm Yankee and K Tooks can tell you because I talk to them on a daily and I text them both. They're like my brothers and they keep me grounded. Like, okay, stay focused, stay focused. Those are the people that you need to have within your
Yeah.
circle, within your
Yeah.
life. And I'm Yankee's always the one to give me that tap on the shoulder. Like, okay,
Yeah.
you're focused on the wrong thing. Stay on the path you need to stay on. K Tooks will kind of just be like, you got this, you got this. Don't be nervous, you got this. And I do get nervous. So that's something that I've learned in 2023. And then when I do my interviews, people can't really tell. And I'll go back and watch. I've learned this year also to stop being my own
Yeah.
worst
Yeah.
critic. Like,
Yeah.
you got
Yeah.
this. And I would go back and just point out any little thing. My mom would say the same thing that Alan Yankee and everybody else is saying because she watches the platform too. And she'd say, no, you did
Yep.
awesome. My family watches. So my grandmother, everybody, they're saying, walk up to me literally while I'm out and they'll say, oh my God, we love the platform. Love what you're doing. Keep doing it. Don't
Yep.
give up. But it is strenuous. There have been times when I'm just like, okay, I'm going to throw in the towel and give up. But then what keeps me at solace and keeps me at peace to keep going is, again, I told you guys I love vision
Hmm.
boards. So whenever I'm down or in doubt, I look at my vision board and I remember, okay, what was your goal? What was your purpose? What was your intent for this particular year? And I said, to be
Yeah.
fearless, to be bold. And you got to do it. So I look at that. I say my prayers and morning affirmations every morning I get up. And that's what keeps me so centered and
That's powerful.
grounded every interview. I'm nervous and you can't really tell it. And you're just like, you're doing so
Yeah.
well. But I'm nervous on the inside. I'm literally sitting here nervous. The person that I'm interviewing, when I did my interview with Steven first, I was nervous, but you couldn't really
Yeah.
tell. especially the one I did with Vanessa or Tommy Davis and all of them, I was nervous. But I was like, okay, you can't freeze up now. When you press that button and you go on, deep breaths,
Yeah. Yeah.
let it
Yeah.
out. You
Yeah.
got
I mean, I'll tell you this. I have done interviews where right after the interview, when we're done, in my head I've said, "Yeah, I'm never doing that again." And every time after our interviews, the first thing you and I do is book the next one because I can't wait to talk again. So if ever you have doubts, just know that you have a reoccurring Steven interview because Steven wants to be on these interviews with you.
it. Yes. And I had when I've gotten on with the person and I've either watched them or listened to their music on television with you, it was the complete opposite. And my goodness, I had such a great time this season with Steven and Robert and so many of my guests that I've had on the platform, Brenda, all of them. I love them all. If I had, it's like asking a mom to pick her favorite
Yeah.
child.
Yeah.
She can't
Yeah.
do it. She loves them
Yeah.
all. And Mazi says prayers and affirmations are needed.
One.
Absolutely. Going into, I believe that every morning when you start your day, you should go into the day with positive
Yeah.
thoughts. And there are days when I do not want to get up, y'all. And I'm just like, okay, you got to do this. You can't let your supporters down, the people who are counting on you, who are rooting for you. As much as you feel like giving up, you have to
Yeah.
keep going.
Yeah.
And that's what keeps me going. My mom gave me this book where it's just like prayers. There's certain prayers that you would pray, and you can go through and pick out a prayer, or you can pick out a Bible verse or scripture. And that's helped me also too. Writing has been therapeutic for me as well too. Getting up in the morning, and I got this from actor Rico King. Rico King literally has a board full of yellow sticky notes full of quotes and affirmations and things. Like he posted it here on Instagram, it's on
Yeah.
Instagram, and I asked him about it. So I started doing it on my vision board. I started writing down little
Yeah.
quotes from people. Like I have a quote from Viola Davis on this side, a quote from Jennifer Hudson on this side, a quote from Taraji on this side. Like all of the people who inspire me, I put it
Yeah.
on my board. And I make it an everyday thing. Whenever it just comes to my mind, I get a yellow sticky note. It's like the yellow sticky note things where it's all combined
Yeah.
together. And if it falls or something on the floor, they all fall out and scatter. It's sort of like a spring, one
Yeah.
of those little spring things. That's what it's
Yeah.
like. So I have a bunch of those sticky notes everywhere, and I'm always writing things down. So that's what keeps me
Yeah.
centered too, and that's why when I come on, I'm so happy, and I bring you guys joy. Derek J. Wu says, long time, Stephen, seeing you in the SAP building and hope you
I
are
am
well.
good. I am good. Don't worry, you'll be seeing me soon enough.
So that is the year in retrospective. 2023 has been a strenuous year for us, but 2024, each year, and I said this to Ty Rispers not too long ago before we went into the holiday break. I said, each year that we start is like pressing the reset
Yeah.
button on
Yeah.
the clock. It's literally like
Yeah.
restart. So 2024, going into this new year, is going to be amazing and so exciting. And it's going to be a great journey for all of us. So I'm looking forward to 2024 because there are so many great things that I have in store. And I've already spoke with K Tooks because he messaged me to see whether I was coming on yesterday. He's like, how you doing? Are you ready for your 18th? I said, I'm nervous, baby. So he was like, you got this. Don't be nervous. You got this. So 2024 for all of us, again, refocus,
Yeah.
re-strategize, rejuvenate, reset. Because Lord knows we need it. 2023 has been strenuous with the writer strike, the actor
Yeah.
strike. And I know election is next month. So we're kind of going to have to find that escape and get away and not think about all the heavy things in the
Yeah.
world, but find a niche. If music is your niche or writing is your niche, go to that exactly. And Derek J. Wu says, I moved to Toronto, so hit me up when you're in.
Absolutely. Next time I'm in Toronto, I'll let you know. I should go to Toronto actually soon enough, so it'll be soon.
So, year recap questions, Fashion Dolls. Do you guys have any questions for myself or Stephen? What's been your favorite highlight for either one of
Mm.
us from anything that we've done throughout our creativity? What has been one of your favorite highlights. I know that Tete a Tete has been a great success, and I thank you guys for tuning in. I look forward to seeing what's going to happen with Tete a Tete for me and Manny. It's great to see both
Hmm.
perspectives. You get to see the man's perspective and you get to see the woman's perspective. So that's dynamic. You get to see both. And I try to make sure that everybody is included on that particular platform. So that will always hold a special place to my heart. Um, Another outlet that I've had this year also was writing for Original Magazine
Oh,
UK.
nice.
So shout out to Mickey Solar for giving me that
Hmm.
incredible opportunity. Yet I'm honored that she wanted a woman of
Yeah,
color to be able to represent fashion in a way that is so ever essence and effortless. So Mickey, if you ever see this, thank you so much, girl, for giving me that opportunity and to be able to interview so many people from different walks of
yeah,
life. And the magazine is so multicultural, and everyone comes from a different aspect. You've got
yeah,
food, you've got fashion, you've got beauty, you got health, you got everything in this one magazine. And she didn't just base it off of one thing, fashion. But I love no highlights because both of y'all get on my nerves. Just spitting in the room. Steve and I have been listening to your latest
Ah,
release on repeat.
ah,
Thank you for sharing your work with all of us, and that is from
thank you
King.
so much. That means everything. Honestly, I never that always hits me in the feels when because I think as creators, when we create, we are a lot of the times alone. When I create, I'm in my studio and I lock myself into it, and then when it comes out, there's always that fear of like, oh, how's people going to receive this? And then when people tell you that they listen to your stuff and they like it, that really means everything. So as the introvert artists that we are, we say thank you. We say thank you.
And Anthony Knight, who I've interviewed this year also too, he says the chemistry and the connection between the both of you brought a lot of good mutual friends. Yes. And what else, Anthony, is that I love
Mm,
networking people. And I do it in my own little way. Alan Yankee knows this about me. Like, I love pairing people up together. But I feel like they're both in the same lane of their music. Maybe they can bounce off of ideas from each other. Maybe you write like this, you write like this. You know, just get ideas. I love mixing people together and networking them. Because in this industry, you got to
yeah,
network. If we're all, in the same field, or if you know someone who's in the same, check out and support each other's work. That's all
yeah.
it is. So that would be my suggestion to anybody. And Amy says, this is my first live I've joined with Miss Stevie. I just want to say I love and appreciate the reminders you've given us today. And there's still room to have hope for 2024 and
Beautiful.
beyond. Thank you.
That's so true. That's so true.
And on I'll say this, on for 2024, of course you guys are going to get more education from artists, just educating people in the music industry, in the business. And that's the sole purpose of this platform, so that people want to get into the music business, they know
Yeah,
about it, what they can expect, what comes along with it. If people want to become an
yeah,
actor, they know what to do, what comes along with it. And these tips you can take along with you. It's free information here on my platform, and I'm so thankful and honored that I've been able to create a space where people can come and learn and take in knowledge. And because it's everywhere, you can learn so many things from so many different artists out here, how to make all of these things, how to make a beat, how to make music. So I'm glad that my platform has been an outlet like that where people can learn. And we're going to learn together. We're going to learn a whole lot more in 2024. So you guys just hang tight because we are going into 2024 strong, an amazing new
yeah,
journey. And I'm so excited. We have a lot in store. So you guys just hang tight and continue to rock and support this platform. It's so much coming in the future. You guys have all wished it and supported and come through to check out the guests or whether it's what I'm wearing. And I love it so much. I love you all so much. You guys have given me the strength to keep going, even when days I did not feel like going. You guys have just come in while you're at work or on your phone. You could be doing whatever you're doing, and you just pop by and
yeah,
say hello, and it just brightens my day. It makes me happy knowing that I made you guys happy and I put a smile on your face because we're in such dark
yeah,
times. And Stephen talked about this in the beginning in part of our interview or a recap. recap for 2023. You talked about the dark times that we in the
Yeah.
writer's strike and everything. Uh, People want an escape. They want to get
Yeah.
away. And I try to make it lightweight so that people don't go stressed out.
Yeah.
Because you can just be getting home from work and you're just like, oh my God, I got to feed the kids. I got to do this. I got to make dinner. I got to, your mind is 1,000 places at one time. I want people to be relaxed and at ease and just put their mind at ease and not have to worry about what's going on in the real
Yeah.
world. Election is coming up and so many things. I'm going into 2024 with no grief. This year I lost my
Uh,
mom, but God is still God, and I refuse to shake hands with depression all the time. And that's something we talk about too is mental
yeah.
health. So protect your peace. That was a quote that I posted the day before one of these where it said, protect your peace. That is a priority.
Yeah.
Um, Let me see what Mazi says. Mazi says, yes, Stephen has been here, has been a privilege to listen and keep on sharing your experience and journey with people. It means a lot to those young ones looking up to you.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much. That means everything. And to Island Yankee, I'm so sorry to hear about your mom. She's in a better place, but I'm so sorry to hear that. I know that pain, but you will push through it, and I'm happy to hear that you refuse to shake hands with depression. That means that you're a powerful soul. You're a powerful soul. So yeah, I just wanted to say that.
And what he does is he doesn't wear his pain. What I love about him is that he doesn't wear his pain on his sleeve. He doesn't look
Mhm.
like what he's been through. And what I mean by that is he will mourn and grieve still, but try to keep a smile on people's face when he sees other people down. And I'm the same
Yeah.
way too. I don't like to see nobody sad or down. And speaking of down, shout outs to my brother Scott Valentine. Hey brother, how are you holding? And it's been a minute. I don't have your number or anything. So DM me so that we can get in touch and catch up with each other. How are you, Sky? It has been forever. He says last thing in 2024, we are doing a 2023 year in retrospective recap. And I must say this has been a great year for me. I've had some challenges, ups and downs. But again, like I said about Island Yankee, I don't look like what I've been through. I try not to let people see me panic in certain situations, but I do panic, but you guys just don't see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It happens behind
Yeah.
the scenes, but when I come on, it's just like,
Yeah.
hello, hi, fashion.
Yeah.
You don't see it because it's just like it's fixed. That temporary situation, you can't stress out about it. And that's something that Alan Yankee, as well as my brother Sky, and K Tukes, and Kenneth, all of them, they've all told me you take things too personal. I'm trying my best to shift, but I'm doing a lot better. I love you so much. And I love you too, brother. I love you too. And you know, I'm here always. I don't have your new number, so you have to DM me so that I can get it because I meant to text you for Christmas and everything to make sure and check and
Mm,
see how you were doing. So yeah, it's important to keep these type of people within
100%.
your circle. And going into 2024, these people are going to continue to be right
Yeah.
by my side because they're very protective over me. And I'm surrounded. The quote that I posted today was, I am surrounded by love, but I changed it to, the quote says, I'm surrounded by love, but we are all surrounded by
Yeah.
love. And Lord knows, my grandmother told me this not too long ago. She says, you don't realize how blessed you are.
Yeah.
You don't realize how many people love and care about you. And I didn't realize it until I went. Oh my God, y'all! I went to the DMV. I had to get a new ID and everything. Oh my God. I went in there and the woman was like, "Yes, what have you been up to?" So it was funny, and they got me in and they got me out. And what happened was they spoke to me. It was they were so happy to
Yeah.
see me, just the expression on their faces and everything. So I didn't dawn on me till then, like I am surrounded by love. People truly care for me, and they see it. Before I was like, nah, they're caring. I don't see it, but now I
You see
actually
it.
open my eyes at 30 and can say now I see it
Yeah.
fully. So Yankee. Leave me alone, brother. Like, shut up, girl. I do. That's one thing about me. If you guys know me, I'm a perfectionist, and I think a lot of artists are. They like their vision to be
Hmm.
perfect and to come to life. And for me, that is one thing I must say about myself. Almost every interview that I've had has been a perfect
Yeah.
interview. There's somewhere throughout the year of 2021 to 2022 that have been like, okay, I would never bring that person back on my platform again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt a vibe,
Yeah.
but there's some in the year of 2023 that I absolutely love and hold dear to my
Yeah.
heart, like the one with Steve and so many other of my guests that I've had on. So that's what I'm taking with me. And those memories will always be there because they're
Yeah.
captured. And you guys can go back and capture them in time as well too, and look back and reflect and laugh and just have
Yeah.
fun. And that's what I
I
want
love
you guys to do.
that.
So,
I love that.
all right, fashion dolls, we are now at the end of this journey here. It's not going to end because I'm going to bring
Oh
Steven back
yeah.
for season
Yeah,
18.
100%.
Just
You will see this face again on this platform.
final thoughts, fashion dolls. Steven, final thought that you would like to give to your followers, your fans, to your supporters that support you 100% because they love you so much as well as
I will say,
myself. What advice
I
would
was
you give them?
before I even give advice, I was going to express gratitude. I actually forgot to talk about this. Was so in Canada we have an award, a nationwide award, called the Noble Awards, and this year I was nominated. And so I got nominated. I was already excited about that. I was like, I can't believe I got nominated. That's really cool. And as part of nomination, you reach out to your fan base and people vote for you. And I just kind of put it out there, going like, "Hey guys, if you think I deserve to win, please vote for me." But I was just grateful to get nominated. A couple weeks later, I got a message that I won. And I won, and it was thanks to every person that voted and believes in me and supports. And throughout the nomination process, I saw people from Nigeria, Canada, India, different places around the world all saying, like, hey, Stephen, we sent this thing to my friends, and people are voting for you. And that, that was, it's hard to say how grateful that made me feel. And ended up winning the best artist of 2023, and it's thanks to the people. And you don't understand, like what I was saying before, when we create as artists, a lot of times we're alone, and a lot of times we're in our minds, and we're putting ourselves out there, and we're just hoping for the best, and to see that level of resonance, and that just, it's not even about the award. Even if I didn't win, it wouldn't have mattered, because just seeing how people came together to make it happen, like that was everything. So I just want to say thank you, so much gratitude to you, to everyone that voted, to the people that listened to my music, the people that, you make me real. Like, you make me real, because without you, I'm still gonna do what I'm gonna do, but you make me seen, and that means the world. So to the people up and coming, I just want to say love and appreciate the people that love and appreciate you, because without them, all that you do is doesn't have as much of an impact. Just knowing that you're making an impact for people that care enough about you to want to see you succeed, that means the world. So I just want to share that. I just want to say I love everyone, love all y'all, and I'm so grateful that I'm the last person on your show this year, and I'm grateful for the journey. I'm grateful for everything that you've done for me. I'm gonna get emotional. I'm gonna stop talking now. I just want to say, very grateful to you, and I love you with all my heart, all my soul, and just, thank you for all that you do, and to an even more wonderful 2024, 2025, 2026, and beyond, and beyond.
Absolutely. Let me read some of you guys' comments. Well, let me get to the final thought and I'm going to get to you guys' comments. The final thought of the day comes from Jennifer Hudson, and she says, loving yourself means caring to make hard decisions in
Mm-hmm.
your life. And going into 2024, you're going to have to make hard decisions in your life. You're going to have to make changes. You're going to have to make adjustments. And it can be scary, but the key trick is to overcome your fears. You have to do what's better for you in your career and in your life and in your goals and in your passion in order to be successful and to remain at the top of where you're at throughout that goal. So that is very, very, very important. Now, let me read some of you guys' comments. Alan Yankee says, my final thought is happiness brings pleasure, but joy brings true contentment to
Oh,
one's heart.
oh.
So count it all joy and keep going. Absolutely. Keep going. And Lucky De Niro is here. Hey, Lucky. Lucky says, congratulations. Well deserved.
Thank you, Lucky. Lucky is one of the my favorite beings on this planet. Such a talented artist. There are only two artists that are on the album twice. And that Lucky's one of them. I love him so much. So Lucky, thank you. Can't wait for people to hear all our other collaborations that haven't come out yet.
So we got to stay tuned for that.
Mm-hmm.
And Cosmetico Parfum says, kisses. I love you. I'm your fan from Brazil. Beautiful. I love your work. Your music works so
Oh
well for
wow.
me.
Thank you. Thank you. I hope I get to come to Brazil one of these days. I really do. That's one of my dreams. One of my dreams. Let's manifest. We manifest. We manifest.
And Cosmetico says, I love your voice. Your music workshop is well. And my brother Scott says, 2023. Hey, Rob. Hey, girl. Um, Scott says 2023 was about lessons learned. 2024 will be about it's my turn,
Mm.
meaning take time to nurture your goals and dreams. And that is important
Yep.
because time stands still
Yep.
for no one. You have to go back and reclaim what is right
That's right.
and go for all of your passions, endeavors, and dreams. You're never too old to dream, so keep going for it. And that would be my advice to anyone going into the year of 2024. It's been a wild roller coaster ride, and I say that over and over again. But this one right here, 2024 is going to hit
Yep.
different for us because we are going for everything that is out
I'm right.
in this year. So, with that being said, fashion dolls, Stephen, where can everyone check out all of your music, all of your upcoming projects? Because I'm pretty sure you've got a lot that's in store for 24.
Absolutely. So, I mean, I'm the most active right here on this platform. This is my favorite platform, Instagram. So, follow me, Stephen Voice. I mean, the links in the bio and all that fun stuff. And I'm always talking about everything here. So if you're following me here, you're going to keep up with all of the madness that goes through my mind. And trust me, there's a whole lot. So yeah, right here on Instagram, Stephen Voice.
And season 18, January 2nd, 2024 Fashion Dolls. Get ready and say bye bye to the monochromatic. You guys see behind me, it will not look like this for the new year. We have something in store. So make sure you guys stay tuned. I'm super, super excited for this year coming up. We have some amazing guests. The lineup will be coming out pretty soon. Make sure you guys are staying tuned. And my new article for Original Magazine UK is up. The Emancipation of Eze, Stephen's album, is out now on all platforms and has gotten so many amazing reviews. So if you guys have not heard it, you guys need to go and stream it right now on all platforms. And my brother Scott says, I am manifesting a podcast and mainstream talk show
Yes.
for you, my sister. You are too big in the heart to not be seen from the start.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, brother. And my thing is this, I take it one step at a time because, God is putting me out here to have a
Yeah.
purpose to help impact so many people's lives. And I remember Scott telling me this the last time because I think it was one of these, we did a panel together and Scott joined the panel. He was like, you have a purpose. You are a light. You are needed out here. What's so crazy is my mom has said the same thing to me too. You are a light and we need you. And you have a happy new year too. Yes, Rob, I'm excited. And hopefully I'm going to try to get my girl T back on the show. I got to bring her back for the new season coming up. So guys, stay tuned for that. I have some things up my sleeve, so just keep following my stories, and you guys can catch out this entire season, season 18. This will be interview 545. I want to say
Nice.
interview 545. So we are still going. My goal is to try to hit 1,000. So
We
we're
going.
gonna get there. It's coming. Yes. So, without further ado, thank you guys so much for tuning in and closing out the year 2023 with me. You guys can catch the entire season all on my YouTube channel. If you are not subscribed, head on over and subscribe to Style by Stevie Daytime and hit that bell so you'll be notified when new interviews are uploaded in the upcoming season. The looks and everything is going to change. So make sure that you guys stay tuned. Wow, you've been putting in work. Yes, girl. And it's been a wild journey. Again, like I said, there have been mornings when I have not wanted to get up, but I said, I got to
Mm-hmm.
do this. I cannot let people that are rooting for me down.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. So, so with that being said, Fashion Dolls, I love you all, and I will see you in the next phase, in the next journey, in the next chapter, season 18. Stay tuned. And Stephen, always a pleasure to have you here in the dollhouse.
Thank you for having me. I'll see you on number eight, or number
Yeah,
seven, number seven,
number
and
7.
then eight, and then eight. Why not?
Yeah, it's more
That's
coming.
right.
So make sure you guys stay tuned and follow both of us. And make sure you guys check out the Emancipation of Eze Stevens album out on all platforms now. I love you all. And Sky, I love you, brother. I love you, Alan Yankee. Rob, all of y'all, I love y'all so, so, so much. And thank y'all for catching up in this 2023 year in retrospective. I love you, and you guys take care. Take care,
Bye.
everyone.